I am your host, Nas B, and to the right is always my beautiful co-host,
Dany B.
So this week's episode is a really special one, as I always say. So we have a really special guest. I want her to introduce herself because I like how she says her name.
I'm really excited.
Yes.
Oh, hello. My name is Brianda. That's me. It me.
Yes. Very
I love
spicy.
that.
So where are you from? Let's get the background so our listeners know. I already love your podcast. So
Yay. Awesome. I love hearing that, really. So my name is Brianda, and I'm the creator and host of the Super Trip Talk podcast. I'm originally from Boston. I say it almost every episode because I love comedy, and I have a lot of comedians come on.
Yes.
But I'm a huge fan of Boston comedy.
Okay.
It's like very niche. We're very brash.
Yes.
I mean, I'm not a comic, but
I like
love
brash comedy though.
yes.
Yeah, I do. I like it when it makes me feel shit, you know?
Yeah.
Am I allowed to curse?
Yes.
Yeah.
We're a very vulgar podcast.
Yeah, we actually probably curse too much.
Vulgar, but Christian.
Yes. Won't he do it?
So this week's episode, guys, I wanted to feed my females some content because the last couple of episodes we've been having a lot of male guests getting their perspective on dating, and I'm really tired of the dick talk. And so I'm all here for pussy power. So
Absolutely.
so
This pussy has power.
yes. So we wanted to talk about all things women because we catch a lot of slack online, and people are just full of shit, and I don't like how they feel like we're always exaggerating about things and just like whatever. So talk about a lot of shit, just all things women. So for starters, I'm gonna jump right into it. TMI, guys. So I just finished my period, and I was fucking tight about it because I just feel like people don't fucking understand. For instance, like guys, when girls are on their menstrual, they still want you to be very sexual with them, and I feel like some people don't understand when it's like,
Yeah.
if you have a fucked up period, you don't, or you go to work. Like I was at work and people are like, oh, you're really chippery for you to be on your cycle, because at one point, part of my period, I was like fucking pissed, and people are like, oh, you're just a moody person and you're being a bitch. I'm like, no, I think you just don't understand. Sometimes I'm like, we deal with a lot of shit. I'm just like, do you fucking bleed a month? So whatever. But then I saw on my feed a lot of I don't want to say that N word because I was about to call them niggas, but they were being niggas.
Say that shit.
They were being
Say
niggas.
that shit.
They were being fucking niggas. No, because I don't know if you ever seen this, but like online, they'll be like, okay, I don't understand why she still can't suck dick on her period, and I don't understand why she can't still do this and can't still do this. And I'm just like, yo, are you kidding me?
Who
Sometimes,
are the heathens saying this?
No, you'll be fucking.
I don't even
surprised.
want to. I don't even want to get out of bed.
I'm like, leave
less
me
suck
alone.
dick.
Like, give me I like trolleys for some reason while I don't know. And I'm like, leave me the fuck alone for like a week, please. Just don't look at me. Like, let me just be.
Well, I was just discussing this with my friends earlier this week about like they say that women are more horny when they're on their period.
Yes.
And it's true because. But at the same time, it's like, you know, if I'm sucking dick, I'm going to be aroused, and then I can't get what I want.
But
so that's probably why I feel like I don't want to suck dick when
You're
I'm
not
on.
trying to rev yourself up if you're not gonna.
Yeah, I'm not gonna.
What's your aversion to period sex?
There's no aversion that I have to it. It's just that sometimes I just don't prefer it. Like I've tried it before, but not
what part of your cycle? Because that depends. That
well,
matters.
towards the end, like not on the first day, not a
okay,
first day.
okay.
I would fuck towel free day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5.
Are you serious?
Absolutely. It don't
Wait.
matter.
So you do it like on the bed?
It don't matter. Hey, well, let me be honest. Let me keep it all the way real. I'd be lying. I have the IUD in now.
Yeah.
But I was fucking my period before then. I mean, I'm celibate now, so I'm not fucking at all. But I got a whole lot of experience. And I would fuck on my period. Absolutely.
Oh my god.
Well,
It feels good.
the only thing is that I don't like to see the blood. So if I was gonna do it, I prefer to do it in the shower.
But this is my thing.
Oh.
No. I don't like
sex
shower
is the
sex,
worst,
Danny.
That's what. But that's my
Because that's
thing.
just fucking
But that's
weird.
why I also
What about
try to.
shower sex you like? Be honest with me. Be honest. Is it that it reminds you of a 90s R&B
It just-
video? Is that it? Tell me.
Well, shower sex only happens for me when I invite my boyfriend into the shower, and that's
Wait,
how
so
it
you guys
happens.
don't shower often together?
We can't. He can't hold it together. Like, I can take a shower and get out. No, first of all, he's all over me when I'm not in the shower. He's all over me when I'm fucking walking around the house. So
Yeah.
imagine
That's a good man.
if we get in the shower together, he's not going to be able to hold it together.
Yeah.
So
Listen, but there's just so many cons.
yeah, slipping,
I don't like
falling.
Slipping. I don't
the
want to get my hair
space.
wet.
Yes.
I don't want to get my hair wet.
Yes.
And also, water is not a lubricant. Like
It's not.
it does
I
not
was-
help with the glide at all.
No.
And you gotta be the perfect height ratio in order to
You
make that work.
do.
Yes.
You do have
It's
to
too
be the
involved.
perfect.
It's a safety risk.
If you
It is
had
because you
one-
got to get on your tippy toes.
Yes, but I'm like, if you have one of those luxury showers where they have like the seat and then the shower's actually not beaming down on you, maybe. Like, you ever go to a hotel and it has like a, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Maybe, but I'm not
There's
into
no way.
shower sex.
There's no way. Even that scene, I was like, I don't know. The water
I'm
getting in my
not
eyes.
into that.
Water getting in my
I'm wearing
eye.
my contacts in.
Word.
Like,
Word.
The contacts getting wet with water is a no.
But never
go.
Have you done it in the pool though,
No.
or jacuzzi?
No.
I
How about
haven't
you?
done it in a jacuzzi.
I'm
I felt like a dirty, dirty girl. But I was like, how many other
people
couples?
have done this,
But was
but you
it-
know what it is? It's just I have a fear of getting chlorine in my hoo ha.
Smart.
You get it there anyways when you swim.
But it's not going up inside
She's
of
like,
the
it's
hole.
not intravenous.
Yeah, like it. It grazes it, maybe,
But
but it doesn't go
it
inside
gently
of it.
flirts with my pussy. The chlorine's not going in.
Yes. you know what? Oh, this sounds so fucked up. So we had sex in the jacuzzi one time.
Who's we?
Me and my husband.
Oh, I love the way that sounds.
Yeah, me and
Yes,
my
that's
husband.
nice.
Me and my husband.
Can't wait.
In public.
too.
But it was
Wait, where's the public?
this sounds so fucked
Nas, you
up.
better speak up. Where's
All
public?
right.
Okay, go ahead.
So we went away to this couples resort.
Oh, okay. That's
We went away
that's,
to this
that's,
couple's
that's pretty
resort.
normal.
And there's this pool, but my husband doesn't know how to swim. So he's like, if you want to do anything with chlorine, I'll do the jacuzzi. So I was like, okay, fuck it. Cool. There was 2 jacuzzis. There was a couple in another jacuzzi that was like a few feet away. And so my husband thought he was slick. He was like, just act like you're sitting on me. So I did that. And then I think that the couple next to us peeped and then they like left.
I thought you were going to say, and they joined in.
No! No!
Now we're talking.
No.
You know, at those adult resorts, they ask you that more
Adult
than
resorts,
you know.
girl, they do that at fucking Spa
Are
Castle.
you serious?
Yes, I went to. So just to me and my friends when we were 19, we went to not 19. I think it was 19. Yeah, we went to this resort in Cancun called Temptations, and every time we would go, they would ask us, "Are you swingers? Are you swingers?" And we're like, "No."
What?
So one night, this group of people were sitting in the jacuzzi, just dicks out, doing their own thing, and I'm just like, God damn, y'all are just out here just getting
Oh my God.
crazy. And then we were just like, and then they were old, and it was just like, ugh,
Oh, saggy
sir,
balls.
please
saggy,
put it
saggy.
away,
Ah.
please.
Have you guys seen saggy balls before?
Oh yeah, we saw it that day.
Pendulous balls or something
Oh
else.
no,
They get
God.
wrinkly. They get wrinkly. They get white hair.
Oh no,
You guys, have y'all thought about the day when you got your first like gray pube?
Okay, this is what my
I
plan
haven't thought
is.
about that yet. Ooh.
In the
Or I
next
have.
year, I want to do laser.
I've gotten my pussy lasered.
Does it hurt?
Yes,
Oh
it
my
does.
God.
But
So
totally
Cardi
worth
lied
it.
when she said, "Oh, it doesn't hurt. It doesn't feel like anything."
That's a lie.
So wait, so
Aw,
do you?
man.
it's not the most comfortable.
I was hoping I was gonna get it.
I want to do laser because I'm just like I don't want to. I don't like shaving, and now Nair recently I retried Nair again. So Nair's been working, but my husband hates the scent of like that egg smell.
Yeah.
But the thing is, you don't get any ingrowns when you use Nair. But then Nair always.
It's not good for your skin though. That.
Yeah, Nair is not good for your skin. I mean, I've tried it once or twice, but
I
it's
get
not
the
really
one
good.
that has argan oil in it.
argan oil. But think
I
about
think it's gonna
think
take
about
more
the
than argan oil.
yeah,
girl.
because if you think about
it's
the
something.
Yeah.
if you think about the chemicals in it to actually burn hair,
like dissolve your hair.
Oh, okay,
You know what I mean?
guys.
And your
All right.
your
I'm
hair
burnt-
and your
okay.
skin are made of the
Same-
same proteins, you know? So
yeah.
it's still it's a little uneasy.
Okay. I only did it like twice.
But
What about
lasering is
waxing?
great.
Oh, bitch, let me tell you about my waxing experience. I don't fuck with waxing anymore. No. So the first time I went to waxing, I went to European Wax Center, like everyone tells you to go to.
Mm-hmm.
I go. I just felt uncomfortable. Like, she was all up in my pussy, and I just felt weird. And then on top of that, because it was my first time getting waxed, it wasn't like a clean wax, because she was like, she was like, next time it'll be like a more like you won't have hair, because I guess you're not supposed to shave before, whatever the fuck it was. And I just was like, I was thinking I was gonna come out completely bald, which that was the goal, and it didn't go.
Well, a lot of times they say that European Wax Center is not a good place to go to, and
So where do you go?
you go to the ones that are good estheticians, like people who really like invest in that, because those people at European Wax Center, they are trained to do it, but it's not like they're under a envelope or a corporation, opposed to somebody who's
It's like when a restaurant goes corp. Like,
yes.
Well, it's like Applebee's.
So what do you?
Yeah.
So what
they
do you
are
do?
basically the Applebee's of waxing.
Right.
Do you
put
wax?
that on a shirt?
Do you wax?
No. So because I lasered for 2 years, my hair comes out really faint. So what lasering is it's just hair reduction. It's not like totally eliminating it. However, the benefits totally outweigh the negatives. And for me, actually, there were virtually no negatives. Like, it made the hair so thin that
You could barely.
I don't even give a fuck. I mean, I've never really cared. Like, if you're
Neither
a
do
guy
I.
and you care about my hairy pussy, then I don't want to fuck you,
There's
right?
a lot of guys who don't like.
Yeah,
the
I don't want to
bush.
fuck those guys.
When I was 12, I remember this guy said to me, my brother told me, and I was 12 and I wasn't even thinking about sex. He's like, yeah, my brother told me I shouldn't have sex or do anything with girls that have teeth. And I said, what the fuck does that mean? He's like, girls who have hair on their lips. And I'm thinking to myself, like, you're fucking 13. You don't even know what that even means. Like,
That's
shut
juvenile.
the fuck up.
That's juvenile.
Yeah, it was very juvenile, because now that I think about it, it was like, the fuck?
Listen,
Who thinks that?
I was given reverse advice, where my sister had told me, and I know this has changed for her, but she told me, I think I was like probably 18 or so, and she was like, guys don't like bald pussies because it reminds you of a baby.
A kid. I mean,
I've heard a lot of older guys say
and
that.
You're infantilizing yourself by kind of removing.
But then I
all
was
of your
just
hair.
like, that's weird to say. And then I was like, okay. But then honestly,
There's some truth to it.
There is. I've heard guys say that.
It's
and
very
I mean,
porn starry too, and it's just, I don't know. It's just, for me, it's hard to maintain that.
yeah.
It's expensive, so
Yes.
you already have to have the privilege enough to even afford that. B, you're telling they're gonna have off days. You're gonna have off days. And
Yeah,
even
having
when
a
you're lazy.
vagina is expensive.
Listen,
okay?
the
People don't
hair-
fucking understand
First
that.
of all, the hair on my vagina does not reduce how tight that shit is. So,
Hey.
Oh, well.
do you guys do Kegels?
I mean, I'm a celibate, and sure.
Well, bitch, you're probably like a
Girl,
born-again
it's like-
version of this. Yeah. At this point.
Kegels, not
But we should be doing
really.
Kegels though for later
But-
on in our lives.
Yeah,
I didn't
So
notice
we don't
that.
pee ourselves when we're 60.
I didn't
That's
notice
true.
that I do Kegels until I knew what a fucking Kegel was. Because I always would just be doing that and just didn't know
mean-
what the fuck it was. And then
I
was
mean,
like,
I
oh,
haven't,
okay.
but I like was thinking about trying like maybe like a yoni egg or something like that. But I
to
also heard
hold
that's
it.
not good for you.
Wait, for your listeners, let them know what kind of Kegels you do. Like, how does the Kegel work?
Okay, so basically, it's so your vagina, your walls of your vagina are like muscles. They're muscles, right?
They are.
And so basically, it's like you almost flexing them and tightening
Like
them.
the sensation of holding in a pee.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Or when you're fucking and you clench down on him. So I do that all day just naturally. I don't know why. I don't know why. That was fucking weird now I think about it. I don't know how I started doing it, but I've always done it. So, but my shit is very tight and it's very painful. Like I feel like a virgin every time I have sex, and it's for the first couple.
Ooh, get
That's
on you.
nice.
Oh, girl.
It's nice for
that is a
him.
subtle flex. She got
I
that
can
twice.
relate.
No, I don't want to.
It doesn't hurt.
I'm
but-
not trying to. No, but seriously, if I don't have sex for a week, like, I'm like, please go slow. Like,
You
it
guys,
hurts.
Yeah.
Like,
our pussies are
like,
designed to
to
give birth to
Yeah.
children, and then they
Snap back.
I was concerned about that because actually
Snap
I
it,
had a baby
snap
in
that
April,
pussy back.
and yeah, and
Congratulations.
thank you.
Boy or girl.
It's a boy.
Or non-gender.
It's a boy.
There we go.
I like
And-
that. non-gender.
Yes. So I had a baby, and I was so fucking scared that my vagina was never going to be. I mean, I think it's changed,
Wait a
but
second.
for the better.
How was that? How was pregnancy like for you?
Did
Fucking
you care?
hell. Okay. Oh, God.
Natural birth? Give us all the details.
Okay, let me tell you, especially for our male listeners, I think you should pay attention to this shit, because that's another thing. Like, my whole pregnancy, my husband was like, you don't need medication, like, do it natural. Like, back in the day in Africa, like, they didn't have any of that, and they just pushed.
Yeah, okay.
And I was like, so I'm sitting here like, again, you don't have a fucking vagina, so you have no fucking clue what we're going through. We're pushing shoulders through our fucking vagina. Yeah. Like, they don't think about that. But anyways, my pregnancy was not the best. It was awful. I was looking forward to having one of those glowy, like, I'm floating down the fucking sidewalk kind of pregnancies where everything's like, oh my God, everything's so beautiful. It was like, I felt every time he turned and everything like that. It was painful. It was crazy. But the birth situation.
Were there any complications?
Okay, complications, child. So basically, when you're pregnant, you have multiple hormones, as we females always have hormones all the time. But there's one called relaxin, where that is the hormone responsible for relaxing your bones and softening the tissues to push the baby out, right? So that happens closer to giving birth, but that happened to me early on. So I can literally feel my pelvic bones moving against, like, the bones moving against each other from the time I was like 8 or 10 weeks. So walking became painful for me. It had nothing to do with, like, my cervix was closed and stuff, but the bones, my bones softened too soon. So I felt everything. So that made it painful for giving birth. And then towards the end, I had preeclampsia because I had extreme swelling. And that's another thing.
What is preeclampsia?
Basically, it's like hypertension, but it's very dangerous and can be very fatal in pregnancy.
Yeah.
So I didn't have blood pressure issues my whole pregnancy. And the thing is, this is another thing that I don't like. I don't know if you guys have ever had this experience, is people just feel like, oh, you're a female, you're complaining. But sometimes when you're complaining about something health-wise, or something just doesn't feel right, you're really probably right, because you know your body. I was fucking swollen. They were like, oh, my doctor was like, I had 7 kids.
Are you talking about, like, old aunties and moms?
Yeah.
Because they be doing that shit.
She was like, I was super swollen. I'm like, my foot was like a brick, like everything. Oh, you're just pregnant. And then last appointment, or whatever the case is, my blood pressure actually spiked. They did testing and found out I had preeclampsia. So I delivered 3 weeks early, which was fine because I was still full term. But anyways, delivery was fucking nuts. I felt the epidural didn't work for me, so I had to get 3 more levels of painkillers past that, the epidural point. So my whole body was completely fucking numb. I was cursing my nurse out. I was calling her a bitch, and I felt bad because I apologized after. God. No, because she was a bitch. Okay, let me tell you.
Where'd you have your baby?
I had my baby in Jersey in Valley Hospital.
Okay.
But the nurse was a bitch, and I'll tell you why she was a bitch. And I feel bad saying that because I hate calling girls bitches, but she was a bitch.
She a bitch.
So
I think you should call bitches bitches.
But yeah, but she was a bitch.
Just as identifiers. Identifiers.
So
I like that.
Maybe
word,
not a
though.
bitch today, but then was a bitch.
But she was a bitch, and I felt bad because I'm like, I tried to be a very decent person, but I'm like, she was a bitch. I was completely fucking numb. They have this thing called like a peanut pillow or some shit that they use to help you like move your legs around to get into better positions for labor, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, but I'm completely numb. So imagine you're completely numb. That means your body is dead weight. She's asking me to pull my legs up in certain positions and keep moving them. And I said, I can't feel it. I can't feel it. I'm like, can you help me? She didn't want to fucking help me. She kept telling me, move up. You're not doing this enough. You're not, we missed the contraction. I'm like, yo, I can't feel shit. And I'm a heavy bitch, especially pregnant. And I'm just like, what the fuck? I can't feel this shit. It was just fucking awful. But other than that, I was happy when my son came out. He was healthy. He's fine. He's a loud ass fucking baby. Danny knows when I'm on the phone. He's losing
quite all right.
He's losing his fucking mind. But other than that,
what was the first time? Do you breastfeed?
So I breastfed until.
Sorry if that's an invasive question.
No, honestly, I'm an open book.
Beautiful.
So I breastfed, which was like people scared me like, oh, it's gonna be painful. I think it's painful when you don't do it enough because
or you're not doing it
yes,
right.
But our breast milk, when you guys go through that process, if you decide to, it it cures a lot of things, and I think it just softens the nipple. So if you do it right, and it'll soften it up, so it's not bad.
I've realized that women, like a lot of my friends who were breastfeeding or tried to breastfeed and didn't breastfeed, it was because the breast milk wasn't coming out in the beginning. But what I feel like they didn't know was you have to
keep
going. You have to keep letting the baby suck on the nipple until the breast milk starts to generate.
There are certain women though that can't.
Yeah, I know. But the ones that I know, they just
and they hurt so bad.
Everyone
they feel like inefficient mothers. It breaks my heart.
So that's sad. That's kind of how I felt. And the funny thing is, this is another thing. I think guys need to take a step back from feeling like they can comment on feminine issues.
For sure.
My husband was telling me, you have to breastfeed. Like, this is the most, and I get it. Like, it is very important. It's the most nutritious form of milk the baby can get, and I get it. Like, I 100% get it. I was feeling, like you said, like, down because I was in the hospital for like 3-4 days. And
3 or 4 days.
Yeah, because I got induced, and so that took up, like, that was a day and a half, and then he came in the evening, so that doesn't count as, like, the first day. So my breast milk didn't come in until like maybe 2 weeks almost, but they did not allow me to give him formula at first. So I'm over here like my son is hungry, my breast milk is not coming in, and I felt helpless and didn't know what to do, and I was frustrated because in my mind I'm like, my husband wants me to breastfeed and I didn't want to give him formula, whatever. And it's the things that I was talking about why I felt like this episode would be important is because there's so many things that people don't understand, that we have like a lot of pressures coming from different places from different points of our life. Like motherhood, the pressures that I went through and the shit that I go through physically, I'm just like, yo, sometimes I wish I had a dick. Because I just feel like I can wake up, I can pee, I don't have to maintain it, I don't have to do any self-care with my dick besides washing and lifting the balls, and if I'm circumcised or not, whatever.
Yeah, but are you ready for like the emotional stuff that men have to carry though too? Like psychological?
Yeah, psychological. I would never change being a woman to be a man because
honestly,
of the.
But do you understand what I mean when I say that?
Yeah.
Like the amount of psychological pressures that have been conditioned in the male mind.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, there's a reason why I can't remember the numbers for suicides in this country, but they are predominantly male.
Yeah.
It's like imagine having the pressures of having to take care of a family and being deemed not or a non-man
or not man enough.
If you cannot, those kinds of pressure. That's a lot too.
But also, I feel like as a woman, we have lots of psychological pressure as well. Like I feel like men have.
We both experience pressure.
Exactly. I feel like we both experience pressure, but I feel like a lot of the times that women.
I feel like it's more vocalized towards us, though.
Yes, that's what it is.
Men aren't afforded it.
Yes.
It's almost like...
Because we're always called out.
That's
all
true.
The time. And I think men, the only time the most vocal thing you hear about men is, like you said, if they're not a provider or if they're like a fuck boy.
Yeah.
That's true.
Right?
And even then, those fuck boys are still successful.
I feel like we get called out for every fucking thing, for being a female. Like
the only thing I feel like men have to carry that women are allowed to speak about a little bit more is rape culture. I feel like men get raped a lot and they can't talk about it because they're like, or like get raped by women.
Yeah.
And they're like,
and listen, and young boys.
Yes, that's exactly.
Sexually abused by older women. Especially, my parents are from the Dominican Republic. All those little boys are fucking by 9, 10. And guess how that happens?
And we're Jamaican, and that's how it works.
It happens by older women sexually abusing these boys.
Yep.
You know, and then those boys grow up. Then they either go one or two ways.
Yeah.
They either go down the path of, righteousness where they would never, impart that kind of harm onto someone else, especially not a woman, or they end up not addressing those traumas and perpetuating that same thing by doing the fuck boyery and all those other fucking fuck shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
But this is all about women.
Yes,
for sure.
But I did want to highlight that because it is that's something that happens in the culture all the time. Yeah. I also wanted to talk about your experience this morning because I know that
you guys ready to sip on some tea?
Yes. I know that men put because they feel like what they're saying is right, that they can do something that isn't right. So, Brianda, I want you to give us a little bit more information about what happened to you this morning.
I've been caught in a Twitter storm of my first bout of like beef. I'm telling you, anyone who knows me, I don't beef. I don't even like debating. I swear. I mean, anyone who smokes a fuck ton of weed and does psychedelics, they don't like beefing. Yeah. They just don't do it. Yeah.
They don't want that.
It's literally it goes against the cult, like the psychedelic community. Yeah. The psychonauts. We don't do that. Mm-hmm. So last night, I'm scrolling through Instagram and I follow this Instagram. And the reason why I'm going to call them out is because of a fact that you are about to discover. This podcast called the Need to Know Podcast. Okay. Mm-hmm. They're not that big. Mm-hmm. They're big enough, though. They've had some major guests. A lot of people that I admire have been on their program. Mm-hmm. There was a flyer on their Instagram that said, any aspiring creatives, entrepreneurs want to be featured on our program for an interview or whatever, just email here and let us know, shoot us a line, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. I go, oh, shit, that's dope. So I take a couple minutes. I already have my media kit stuff going and so I basically just forwarded them that, like my acting credentials, my stuff. I'm represented. I'm union. I'm out here. Yeah. And I said that looking forward to hearing your thoughts. And I also said, hey man, I listened to your show. I respect the show, and that is a fact because I do. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I send that. They respond almost immediately, like within 15 minutes, and they go, hey, yeah, we're down to. We think you're really interesting, and that'd be great. Find below our interview packages. Interview packages starting at $200. And then the second tier was $300. And then the third tier was like it was $200, $260, and like $3 something.
Wait, what? Wait,
for different kinds of rollouts. Mind you, I have never heard of anything like this. And I'm a small ass podcast. I'm not out here flexing like I'm big. I am small still, but by the grace of God himself, I have connections to people who are professional podcasters out here making well over 6 figures doing this, right? Wow. Who started at the bottom too. And upon receiving that email response, I do my due diligence and I hit up my tribe, my council, the people that mentor me. I'm like, hey man, is this, this guy, is this a thing now? Are we doing this? Like, this is like this is like terrestrial radio type shit to pay to be on some sport. Yeah. Like, is that a thing now? And one of my friends was like, that's against pod code. No, you don't. You just don't do that. If anything, you pay guests to be on your show if they're major and stuff. But either way, that's not how pod etiquette works. And once I got that from 3 major people, I'm not saying their names. Once I got that from 3 major people, I was like, oh, okay, let me respond back. I responded in a very, very respectful way. Like, oh, thank you so much for your response. It appears that we're not a good fit. I didn't know you guys charged your guests for interviews, but I'll continue supporting from afar. Best, Brianda. Cool. I go on. Oh, when I was reaching out to my council, I had also went to Twitter. And on the Twitter, I said, hey guys, am I oblivious to the new podcasting business scheme? We're now charging guests for things. I'm actually confused. Like, I think it's weird, but someone please let me know. And I tagged my a couple other major people just to make sure. They also tweeted that is not a common thing at all. Don't do it. That is not a common thing. Don't do it. That is not a common thing. Don't do it. So I got double confirmation that is not what we do. So this morning I wake up to Savon, a third of the Need to Know podcast. I don't follow him. I don't do, you know what I'm saying? He tweeted at me saying, this is in regards to...
Isn't he on Joe Butt?
He does, yeah. He does their media something with them, I think, which I just discovered. Yeah. He tweeted me, goes, this is in regards to... Me neither. This is in regards to... not that I never heard of him, just the names I don't really know.
I never knew of him, and that's not no shade. I just didn't know of him.
Right. He tweets at me saying, this is in regards to the shade thrown at me by @that's. He @s me. And then he writes this
wow.
This, I mean, I don't even need to read it.
Subs anymore?
Exactly. Wait. He notes screenshotted this long ass thing. This is why we charge fees. Blah blah blah. Meanwhile, it was a long ass thing about being we're an independent. We do this, that, and the other. I'm sorry. Okay, pause. I didn't @ you, and I am well within my right to go on my platform and ask, hey guys, is this not motherfucker? You came on my shit, saw what I was doing, and then go on and @ me. Anywho,
shit.
Anywho, so yeah, especially when I'm starting to develop a brand in myself and my name.
Yes.
You got people, there are people on his post being like, fuck that girl, or why don't even pay her any mind. It's like,
that's some real nigga shit though. I can't stand that.
Oh, for sure.
But
it's not right. It's not right.
It's not. First of all, I've never heard of somebody actually charging somebody to be interviewed. And I remember back, like, I don't remember how long ago.
Especially on a podcast.
Yeah.
When men's egos are penetrated, like my email denying them probably did for them, or that tweet and all those other fucking blue checks saying don't do it, that probably affected the male ego. And what happens when the male ego is penetrated is they try and put their fucking foot on a woman's neck, especially a woman of color.
I never knew that people pay to get interviewed. I remember there was I don't remember if it was The Breakfast Club, but I remember there was something that came out. It was a big like radio show too that was like, we don't fucking pay people to interview. We'll invite you, but we're not going to pay anybody, or we're not going to make you pay to be interviewed. I think that's kind of stupid. And I think that if you're going to give somebody a platform, give it to them with a good heart. Don't give it to them to try to reap benefits.
Danny, wow. You're absolutely right. Now, the way I work is I'm very Sophocleic in the way I think. I try and think, let me give them the benefit of the doubt. Let's do that. Let's provide them the platform. Yes. So the benefit of the doubt is podcasting is new.
Yes.
Podcasting is very new, and the rules are being hashed out as they go.
Yes. Yes.
So there really aren't rules written out, a constitution that says you are not supposed to charge. But that those methods are very archaic. That is from terrestrial radio times, where they would charge people to come on their radio shows to promote themselves. That is from like the 90s and shit.
Yeah.
Why would podcasting, that is considered tech and digital venture, it's digital.
Yes.
Why would we apply what worked for terrestrial radio on this new 2020 streaming like world, this industry?
Right.
I'm sorry, but the rules aren't made, but we're not adopting
and
that
it doesn't
shit.
even work in radio.
It does
currently,
not anymore.
Especially because radio is slowly becoming obsolete and podcasting is becoming the it thing. You know what I mean? So that doesn't even fucking make sense. And at this point, it's really like you see, Breakfast Club has, and it's a very big radio show. They've had all walks of life on their show.
For real. They really do.
I mean, that show thrives off of having guests.
Also,
so it's a little different.
It's good to know that all your guests and future guests pay to be there.
Yeah. So
like,
it's
that
not
doesn't
even
really
like,
look good.
But you know what makes it even worse is like, okay, I understand
That's
you felt some type of way.
I'm just
but
so shocked.
But
you have his followers are calling me whack.
Are you fucking kidding?
Yeah.
No, you're fucking whack. That's whack. That's some whack ass shit.
Someone who have 196 followers on Twitter. You have 17,000. Like, that is so nasty. That I can't wait till I make it. I can't wait till I make it to say this to his face. And I can't wait till I explode, even on the acting realm. You know what I'm saying? Like, which is another tier of entertainment.
Yes.
I can't wait to make it so that I can talk on this moment.
I mean, those kinds of things show what kind of people.
Because he's driving the narrative too.
What kind of person he is. I'm sad that this is my first time ever hearing about him, and then knowing this is what he did.
He probably thinks he's the shit because of the Joe Budden podcast.
But I don't even care about that. I don't even care about that because that shows like, damn, like. You couldn't be more mature to just, even if you felt some type of way, why couldn't you DM me? Why did you have to take it so public? Because I didn't even say your name. I could have blasted you to begin with, but I gave you the grace of God to let you rock. And you didn't do that for me. But it's okay, because guess what? Karma doesn't stop.
These are 3 black people providing quality content, educational shit. You know what I'm saying? I would never want their program to end or whatever. And 400,000 streams is something way more than mine.
Yeah.
I'll tell by a lot.
Yeah.
But to be charging that, like I literally said in the tweet, not even if I was Joe Rogan, who would shit on 400,000 streams, would charge. It's just uncouth. And we don't, the podcasting sphere has territories and terrain that has not been explored yet. But I'll tell you one thing, charging for interviews is not one of them.
That's not even, before it was podcast.
It goes against indie work ethic collaborators.
Yes.
Sorry. Like, and then he's talking to me about, you don't know, people who wouldn't invest. I've lost 20 pounds in 2 months. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't know what it's like.
Do you want to know what fucking investment is?
I fucking hustle, and I know what indie's like.
Yes. And that's fucked up because it's like, okay, you know how it feels to be grinding and
working
building your brand
really
from
hard,
the start,
and then somebody tries to take it from you.
And then you use your newly found platform to attack somebody who is working their way up. And honestly, the way you made it, the way you talked about the post is as if they're giving people opportunities like yourself to come on and have that level of exposure that they can offer. And then you lure them in and with the emails, and then you say, hey, here's the packages. Why not have an asterisk or some shit like in small fine print? There a fee applies or whatever the fuck it is, because then,
or even the way they did it. Even the way they did it is fine. I didn't even at you. I didn't at you at all. No one knew it was you. You're a fucking dumbass idiot now. Everyone knows that you charge for interviews now.
Yes.
Because of you, in order to what? To put me down?
But what if he's not charging big people? What if he's not charging big people?
He's not charging big people. And I know
he's taking advantage of
small, broke, aspiring, like we're at the bottom, you know? That's an irresponsibility of someone with the platform.
Wow.
We're supposed to be, first of all, as minorities, we should be taking care of each other.
Wow.
Not trying to tear each other down. And
it was ego.
And
him doing that was all ego.
Now it makes me feel like, because I know Joe Budden is his mentor. And to some degree, and I know
he didn't advise Joe Budden for that, I'm sure.
No. I'm just saying, I wonder if Joe has even had a conversation, because my thing with that is I watched Joe grow up.
Yeah, he started from the bottom too.
And
he started with his career, but he was a small podcast to begin, and then he got bigger.
I remember and Joe hustled it out or whatever the case is. He didn't take money. He just got his big check from Spotify. So my thing is like, what do you say to somebody like that? Because you need to kind of, what do you call it, Dany? Wing them or put their arm around and say, like, this is not it. Because this is something that you're starting now, and you're talking about 400,000 streams. Like you said, there's Joe Rogan, who has obviously millions and millions and millions.
10 times that.
And my whole thing with that now is just like, yo, my dude, you outed yourself. You came and attacked a woman
and then have your followers come and attack.
And that's what I'm gonna say. Fucked up. Fuck
and
you
that's
too.
Fucked up. And that just
I'm gonna say
now it just
being
makes
like
me
you're
feel
bigger
like,
than that. You're better than that. It's like,
no.
Wait, is he bigger and better than
No,
that? I don't think so.
No one is bigger. I don't give a fuck what you got going on. Ain't nobody better than the next person, because
nobody.
not for nothing, God could take that shit away tomorrow.
Yes.
Okay. In the next hour,
also,
and you're right back down.
Now let's bring it back to like the ground. Like that's not a sustainable way of growth. Like, I mean, I guess it is, and I'm sure they've had people pay that, like $300 or whatever.
People who don't know.
People who don't know.
Or
That's
just,
not a part. Listen, that ain't pod code. Different industries.
I've never even heard of you paying for an interview. I'm still fucking stuck on that.
The only thing I have heard is paying a guest to come on.
Yeah, of course, paying a guest to come on the show, because you think
if they're taking up their time where they're losing money somewhere else. I
can understand
What's your main demo, like for listeners?
So far what we have is 18 to like 25, and then we have like an older crowd.
So this goes to your listeners who are between 18 and 25. We're all in the same age bracket or whatever. And if you guys plan on starting your own podcast or any kind of digital creative ventures, I just want to let you know that it is not okay to pay someone for exposure in that way. Like, I'm a represented union actor, right? People who come into New York City think that they have to pay to get an agent. And that is some novice, naive things. Like you
don't have to pay.
No, not have. You don't pay your agent to represent you. You shouldn't be paying people that are interested in your story and interested in what you have to say and what your story could bring to their listeners. You're running a money thing. You're doing this for the wrong reasons. And for that, I say it's not sustainable. And ultimately is going to kill itself off in the end. Because if you're not doing this for the love of it, for the art of it, which I'm not implying that that's them, you know? We all go through hard times and make these decisions intentionally. But that for those young listeners listening, don't do that. That is not okay. If you have any questions, DM me at thatsbrianda, on Twitter and IG, and I'll walk you through it. Or I'll talk to my resources that are probably more equipped to answer any questions. But that's not okay, especially if it comes from a fucking man.
I just want to shift. I just want to shift gears a little bit because I feel like that was really intense, and it's really unfortunate that people are online still bullying. Honestly, like, you guys have to get a fucking life. Get a fucking life. What the fuck is wrong with y'all? Why do y'all think, oh, your little fingers, because if I press you, bitch, you're not doing that. You're not doing none of that. I can't wait
to meet him in person.
I don't know about Savon, but I'm talking about the followers. Y'all sitting here following somebody who is not even caring about who he's hurting by doing this.
Honestly,
that shows who you are.
Ego.
I've come into contact with people who talk so much shit on Twitter, and like they're so big, and then they're like these small little people who hide in fucking corners and don't know how to socialize.
And then you look at them and you say something and they look stuck.
It's like, yo, you're not even about that. Like, let's not do that. That's why after a while I'm like, yo,
you
Twitter fingers, like, I'm cool on you. What I don't like though is that this generation of men, they are comfortable with attacking females. And it pisses me off because that's
standing by and not saying anything when a female is being attacked.
I think that's such a bitch ass thing. Like, I always tell Dany, like, my timeline on Facebook, no matter how many people I get rid of or whatever, it's like the narrative is like, what can I come at a woman today for? Like, shut the fuck up. Like, you get on women for being women, but then you don't want to be with a nigga. So then it's just like everything you're bitching about and you're coming at us for. It's like
it's bitch shit.
Yeah, and it's annoying because it's like we already have a lot of fucking things going on that a lot of it's out of our control sometimes. Sometimes it's just our body language and just our body chemistry. Just maybe it's not the fucking day for us. And it's like we always have a lot of things we have a lot of things going on in society that is against us, and I'm just like, it's just a lot of shit and pressure, and it's annoying as fuck to wake up every fucking I'm annoyed at least by one nigga online every fucking day.
It's
every
true.
Fucking day.
Men, it's only gonna get bigger the more you become more exposed.
I feel like men take, like, I'm not gonna bash all men because not all men are like this, but I feel like there are men out there that take advantage of women's vulnerability. And that comes up because I was in my group chat this morning and I seen a tweet. My friend sent a tweet that JT said, and I'm going to read it. It says, I was locked up with so many women who were in prison because they kept it real with men, and those men did not keep it real with them. I want y'all to know that whenever you do, don't let a man influence you in the moment of love. If he loves you, he wouldn't put you in those situations. And it's not called being stupid. It's called being influenced in the state of vulnerability. We need to let these niggas, we taking these niggas' money and putting ourselves first from here on out. And that's a fact. I always promote that women put themselves first. Mm-hmm. Don't put no man before you. Because the thing is that when it comes to the shoe being on the other foot, is that man gonna really ride for you? Mm-hmm. Is he gonna do that for you? That's why I always say I'm never going to jail for no nigga. Because if I go to jail, my nigga I'm not gonna say my boyfriend now won't do it, because we've had those conversations, but I'm not going to jail for no nigga because I would never do that to my nigga. So if you're gonna do that to me, I don't wanna be with you. Mm-hmm. So men, stop doing that. Stop using women. Stop saying that you want this from her. And then when, like Nas talked about it on one of our episodes, you go so hard to fuck a female. And then when she fuck you, you just degrade her because you're a punk ass nigga. Mm-hmm. You're a bitch ass nigga. And that's on you. That has nothing to do with me. That actually has to do something with your mom because she didn't raise you right.
Yeah.
Sorry.
A lot of niggas is not raised right.
Mommy issues.
I think they have a lot of daddy issues.
That too.
Some kind of trauma that derives from parents.
But getting back to us women. So I want to ask you guys each, what is the hardest thing about being a woman for you?
Can I be honest with you?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. In present time, I don't really like to give it even attention, but because you've posed the question, I would say probably we're not afforded the same luxuries. Mm-hmm. Like, for instance, even with sex, like men can fuck anybody they want and it's not stigmatized. But again, I don't even think that's a detraction. Can you start? Because I don't really know. I don't know. There's so many things.
I feel like the hardest for me being a woman is not taking on other people's views of me, because I always say, when you have an insecurity, it's okay once you know your insecurity. But say you're a public figure and you have millions of followers, but then you have platforms that go against you. I'm going to talk specifically, I can say like maybe Cardi, right? She has a problem with the Shade Room because she feels like they don't highlight.
Put her in a certain light.
They always put her in a negative light. And I say to myself, my biggest fear is having an insecurity and have somebody layer on that insecurity. So I have an insecurity, and then now you're going to layer on your insecurity. And now how am I going to break that? Because now I feel like I don't have anybody who's going to help me get rid of this insecurity.
And you're implying that men don't experience this.
I feel like men experience it. Men talk less about it, though.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I feel like women, we take on, and the thing is, I feel like there are more things layered onto our insecurities than men. Because men have the ability to kind of like, some men, I'm not going to say all men, I can't generalize this. Some men have the ability to act like they don't care. And as a woman, I can't do that all the time because it's just in me to be an emotional being. Like, I can't help that.
So mine is slightly different from Dany's. So I think me becoming a mom has kind of made me zoom in more on this and say, okay, this is what I've been feeling, and I didn't know this. So for me, what I struggle with the most of being a woman is that we're not afforded the opportunity to not exhibit strength. So for instance, if I'm breaking down mentally and I'm going through something and I call whoever, people put you in a box like something's wrong when it's normal for you. You don't have to be strong all the time. It's okay for you to go through things. It's okay for you to be vulnerable and things like that. I hate that other women judge other women for what they go through as if they haven't gone through it or that they can't go through it. And I say that because we want to do an episode on this, but I'll briefly mention this. I was going through postpartum anxiety more so than depression. And I remember, I think the way media positions postpartum is that it's always going to end up with a fatality or something ridiculous, right? You ever see these stories with the moms and it's like, she hurt her child, she's this and that. So when I started going through postpartum, I immediately was like, I'm a horrible person. Oh my God, this is going to be me. Because they always put women like, okay, it's either if you're not strong, you're crazy, right? If you're going through something, you're crazy. And that's kind of
being overly emotional.
Or
overly emotional.
Or whatever the case is. So when I started going through postpartum, I started working through it myself, not knowing that this is something I can't take on by myself.
Did you seek professional treatment?
Yes, and I'm still going through that. So for me, even contacting my mom, and I did not want to talk to my mom because my mom always exhibits strength, even though she's gone through things. She never wants to tell somebody, or she just growing up, she's never been vulnerable like that. So I felt like if I expressed that, then now I'm a failure, a public failure, because now it's known that I'm going through this. So for me, that's the biggest thing with being a female is like sometimes I just want to take my shoulder pads off and just say, fuck, this is the raw me. I go through shit. I'm not okay. And just let me go through this. Don't make me feel weak, especially like when you transition into motherhood. I remember, and I'm, like I said, I'm a very open book. So, and sometimes that bites me in the ass because I immediately get judgment upon me being open. And it's like when someone, like when I came back to work, people are like, oh, how was it? Whatever. And I had to be honest. I said I started experiencing postpartum and I immediately got stares and immediately felt judged and immediately felt like, oh, she wasn't strong enough to handle giving birth, and this happens all the time.
I'm sorry,
and not to and the crazy thing is,
So common though.
it's extremely common. Almost 70% of women will experience some type of
Every
postpartum,
woman
whether
I've
it's
asked.
anxiety or it's depression. We don't vocalize it because of that judgment or the fear of not feeling like you're strong enough or the fear of people feeling like this is going to be your story. And that was the thing. Like I've always told myself I can be strong. I always just, dealt with the battle by myself. You know what I mean? And whatever onset of crazy shit, I dealt with it by myself. And honestly, the funny thing is me building a closer bond with Dany through this podcast. I've let Dany into so many situations sooner than I would anybody else and been extremely vulnerable because Dany, we started this podcast when I was going through the height of the postpartum. I was like, I just need to get the fuck out and just be, release and just be able to vocalize whatever the fuck is coming on and what comes to me. So that's the thing that's just the hardest. And it's still till this day, because even like my husband doesn't understand, like, you know what I mean? And sometimes I think when he thinks he's helping, sometimes he's hurting. And it's not, I wouldn't say it's quite intentionally. Sometimes he thinks he's avoiding doing things because he knows like my anxiety might be high, XYZ, I'm going through stuff, but then it impacts me in another way. You know what I mean? So it just, it gets crazy because when you tell somebody, I got to seek professional help, I got to do this, I got to do this. It's crazy because it's the first time you're vocalizing, so now like thousands of people are going to know this. But yeah, for me, that's the biggest struggle because everyone knows me for being a strong person or.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great.
Or they see a certain lifestyle and they assume like I have my shit together. And my thing is this, sometimes like being a mom, I tell you the toughest fucking job in this world. And I honestly, I've had to apologize.
I know, right? I'm really excited.
I've had to apologize to women before because I was judgmental. I knew it was tough, but I just was thinking day-to-day activity. Mentally, it's the toughest battle you'll ever experience in life.
I've heard every woman I've asked, is postpartum something that you've gone through? And 95% of the women I've asked have said yes. And that's so sad because it's not, it's not a small thing. It's really important because your mental.
Well, you're dealing with a whole lot of new components. You just gave birth to a
whole
child.
human being. And if you can't even be there for yourself,
right?
How are you gonna be there for?
And that's where your partner really
and I think
up,
I think what we always leave off the table when it comes to postpartum, people fail to realize this. You're going through a chemical imbalance for a very long time. Your body went through almost 10 months of maintaining a certain amount of chemicals in your body that generated these different type of emotions. Mm-hmm. So now you gave birth. Your body is reverting back to what you were a year ago, and that's happening at different levels. So there was times where I'm like, oh my God, what the fuck? I'm not thinking about this. This is not real. This is, and then you don't feel like yourself because your emotions, your thoughts, your anxiety.
Do you meditate?
I don't. I tried. It doesn't necessarily work for me because I'm a person. I'm so in my head and I'm so judgmental of myself, and that's something that
mindfulness meditation would be great for you.
So I've been studying mindfulness.
Okay, I'm learning to be a guide, by the way. I should send you some of my stuff.
So I've been studying mindfulness. I'm doing a lot of readings, and I'm in therapy and working through a lot of things, and it's a whole host of shit.
It's a practice,
Yes.
It's a practice. It's not a one shot. I'm done. I'm here. Like,
I know.
Practice.
Trust me, that has helped me for the first 3-4 months getting through postpartum was that until I found my therapist, which is like my Bible.
Wonderful.
But yeah, that's my struggle. I'm sorry guys, I just divulged and just gave a lot.
No, thank you for being so vulnerable.
Yes.
That's
what we're here for.
That's the strongest thing. So
I do have a new one though.
Go ahead,
because you guys caught me slipping.
Yes.
But I got a good one.
Yeah.
Something that for sure women experience that men in this patriarchal society do not, is vitality being attached to youth.
Yes.
Ooh.
Men have a longer shelf life than women do I'm going to say I'm pursuing media and entertainment, so I'm going to say it in the entertainment media world. But really in everything, but more specifically entertainment. It fucking sucks, man. It sucks that, especially as an actor, you're done after 35. After 35, you're a mom. You're considered a mom, and the roles are cut in half. Not even less. And that's men only get more. opportunities. And that doesn't see any race.
Because they can.
Let me repeat that. That doesn't see any race. That is strictly a gender sex thing.
I mean, I can't even disagree with that.
Like, exactly. Like, even
if you think about it, I
older
can't.
black and Latino actors male actors get more opportunities than the females.
That's even in music.
Especially because a lot of times
Entertainment, everything.
they cast women on roles that they've played before. So it's
Typecast.
not very.
Going to the same four people.
It's not.
so no one
Yeah,
else
it's
can
the
get break in.
same bitches that you see in movies all the time, and it's never like, oh, this is new. And then
More
when we do,
opportunities for white old women.
yeah, and then now when we do see new women,
Old white women.
now when we do see
I'm
new
the worst.
female actors, oftentimes if we like them, then we keep seeing them again, and it just. But Netflix has been bringing in new.
Netflix has really been has a very broad spectrum of things to watch, which I really enjoy. Shout out to Wentworth. That's my shit.
It's so
I have to start
overwhelming.
watching
It's
that.
so overwhelming.
Yes.
Someone tells me to watch something, and I'm like, yeah, I'll do that. Yeah. I don't even look at it. I don't even look
my
for
God.
it.
Shit.
I have a whole Netflix, and I just can't. I just watched Rhythm and Flow.
How was that?
It was fine. It's like The Voice, but
Okay.
it's like The Voice,
It's
but better.
raw.
But better.
Okay.
Raw. It's
Right.
more raw.
It's like
with-
all the whack ass components of The Voice taken out, but it's still very much
Yeah.
The Voice in that it's
Okay.
structured, fake scripts are
Yeah.
given. But it's funny. Also, that Cardi B is just a character.
I love her.
I know, I love her, and honestly, I support anything and everything Dominican, always, all day, every day.
I
Para
hear that.
patria, siempre. Like anything Dominican for me is like always.
That's
can't
how
wait
I
to
feel
get
about
back.
being Jamaican. I swear to God, like
Yeah.
I'm just super.
Nah, you're super
Rap
good.
it.
I'm sorry, I love
Rap
that
it.
shit.
Rap it, man. I'm
super.
making up for lost time because
I'm going to a bashment after this.
Yes. Turn up.
Yes, I can't wait.
Turn up. Turn up.
Yes,
Turn up.
Scotty
I love being Jamaican, and that's the one thing. Like, that's the only thing that I could say about being Jamaican is that I wish I was born there. Only because, like, every time I say somebody asks, "Oh, what are you?" I say, "I'm Jamaican." They say, "Oh, so when did you come here?" I mean, I was born in America, but I grew up in Jamaica.
Oh, so you do say Jamaican?
Yes, I don't
do
say
the-
I'm not
do the
American.
opposite. I do the opposite. I go, because I know what they're trying to get at, but they always ask, "What's your nationality?"
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to like do this for education purposes. Like my nationality is American.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you're asking me what my ethnic background is, I am Dominican.
Okay.
So I get like saucy because I like pissing people off sometimes. You know what I'm saying?
I-
Just a little bit.
I feel weird answering that because of the response that I always get. So my mom is half Cuban, half Jamaican. And,
Okay.
Yes.
Cool.
And my dad is Jamaican, and basically my mom's family migrated from Cuba to Jamaica, you know, right before the whole communist shit. So people, when they ask me, when people ask me stuff, it's really annoying because I immediately feel judged because it's either I'm not seeing Cuban enough or Jamaican enough or something like that, and it's annoying because then when they meet my mom, they don't know what to expect. But because they migrated to Jamaica, they adopted the culture, and my mom was raised that way. She was raised by her Cuban grandmother and her Jamaican grandmother, and she just didn't want to adopt the Cuban culture so much because in Jamaica it wouldn't have been appreciated, you know.
That's understandable.
Yeah. So growing up, a lot of my family members who I thought was Jamaican because they spoke patois they're not fucking Jamaican, and I was like, especially like when my aunt passed and we read her obituary, and I was like, wait, she's not even. I'm like, fuck, she's from Cuba. I'm like, damn, okay, but so it's always kind of weird, and just people just like
Yeah.
kind
I
of
got a
dismiss
question
it.
for you guys.
So,
I don't
yeah.
know what time it is, but I got a question. Oh, I gotta go, guys.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
No,
But we
it's
can.
okay.
Let me give you guys this question first.
Go ahead.
The Latin Afro-Latino, can they call themselves black?
Honestly,
Yes.
yes. I feel okay.
Yes.
I
No,
don't
yes,
want-
you're absolutely right.
I
don't
think you're
wanna-
black
I don't
first.
want to feel.
I'm sorry. I think you're black
Yes.
first.
And I just feel like it
I
depends
think
on where you
everybody's
landed.
black.
I just feel like it dependent where
Everybody
wherever,
not black.
well, majority of the world is fucking black.
For sure.
I just
so-
feel like it's you're black, and it's just the second part is wherever the slave ship landed.
I agree with that. I get
I
it.
think
Also,
you're black first.
black is a race, right? And race the reason why we picked race when a crime happens and you know let's just say a woman gets robbed in the street or something and the police come and talk to her and they're like, what do they look like, you know? You're going to fucking say either white, black, whatever. Like, they're like made for society, like anthropologically speaking, to create markers for us, just to identify, really. Labels, which fucking suck. But anyways, it is a race. There are some black ass my grandfather is blacker, the blackest man I've ever seen in my motherfucking life.
My brother's girlfriend is Dominican, but her great grandfather black as hell.
My blood sister, father and mother, my sister doesn't look anything like me. She's black passing, black. So when I see like parts of the black community being like, you can't have this, it's like, oh really? Because 10 years ago, because Dominicans are racist as fuck, and I get it.
Because I'm about to say, because every Dominican I know, they swear they're not black, and I'm like, bitch, you blacker than me.
Wait, Nas, listen to this. 10 years ago, I remember the move was the thing to say was, bitch, you're black, own your blackness, own your blackness, and now we're owning our blackness. You ain't black. Nah, you ain't black. It's like, wait a second. What are we doing here?
The only thing I don't like is when they only pick being black when it's cool.
When it's convenient.
Nah, bitch. Nah. Like, what's her name? Stacey Dash. You know what's fucking crazy? And she probably never knows this. We're dead ass cousins, and she doesn't know. Like, we're like third cousins. But let's say this.
Oh, so you're related to Damon too?
Yes, they're my third cousins, or something along those lines. I have to look at my family.
Girl, can I get $20?
Bitch, I don't know her, and honestly, I'm not gonna lie. Like, the fact that she tries to like demote her blackness is crazy as fuck. Because you're from Barbados.
Oh, is that where she's from?
That's where our bloodline is at. Where the Dashes are from is Barbados.
What's your last name?
My paternal last name is Stewart, but the Dash is like my grandmother's father or something like that. Some kind of way we're related. But I just feel like, like the fact that people demote being black because they think that being another race is cool is corny, because honestly, everybody wants to be black, bitch.
They undertake the culture.
Black is beautiful.
Guys, we're gonna have to wrap this episode because I want to say I can't.
Brianda.
Yes, has to go.
I was gonna try to do it, but I didn't want to fuck it up.
Because
you do it so well.
Try it.
You did. That was a good try.
Listen, girl, that's better than half the shit I've heard. Like they're having a stroke while they're saying it.
Oh my god!
But thank you so much.
Can I plug my shit?
You can plug your shit ever.
We always like people plug. Go ahead.
Yay! Awesome. So my name is Brianda, La Brianda, and you can follow me personally at thatsbrianda on IG and Twitter. But please, more importantly, support my podcast. It's a small indie podcast called Super Trip Talk, where we discuss psychedelics and their healing properties. So follow us at Super Trip Talk on all things, or visit us at supertriptalk.com to learn more information. Drop me a line if you want to be a guest on my show, and I won't charge you.
Yeah. Oh.
Yes.
I like that.
Stay blessed.
So I think I'm gonna start calling myself La Dany.
La Dany. No, Dany.
Dany.
La Dany.
First, I'm gonna start calling myself that. Ever since Cardi just did, and you just did it.
You know why she does it though? She does it from La Rosalia, like La Rosalia.
Yeah.
You know,
she
Rosalia?
said La Cadi. I was like, I like that.
Also, I've been La Brianda.
Yeah.
Like my mom, it's a Latino thing to do. Like, oh, my sister's name is Omarchi. Oh, Omarchi. Like, you just like identify people
that's
like
cute.
That. So
that's
whatever.
Cute. But
so, anyways, guys, thank you so much, Sorry,
Thank
guys.
you for having me. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
And guys, follow us on the Loud Ones Podcast on IG, Twitter, Loud Ones Podcast on IG. Follow me, always_Nas. If you have any questions or you want advice,
please.
We have a few things you can hit us up on. The Loud Ones Podcast at gmail.com or help at theloudonespodcast.com, and visit our website, theloudonespodcast.com. Dany, what you want to plug?
My @ is Dany Bonaduce, and I really want to say thank you for our listeners, because you guys have really been showing up and showing out, and we really appreciate you, because you don't have to listen, but you do.
Yes.
And shout out to all the people that's been giving reviews. We really appreciate that.
Yes.
And lastly, we want questions. Please
and
slide in the fucking
even
DM.
if it's in a different language, guys, because we have listeners everywhere.
We
So we appreciate them. Even if it's another language, we'll Google and translate.
And big shout out to my Jamaicans, because you guys have really been
you
fucking
guys are one of
holding
the
it
top
down.
followers too in Jamaica.
You guys
so
are holding it down. And Brooklyn, y'all been
Yo,
doing y'all thing.
for real. We got to do a live podcast in Brooklyn because
We
they are
do.
pulling in.
Look out for that. But we're gonna
Yes.
let Brianda
Thank
get out
you
of here. Thank
guys.
you so
Bye.
much. Bye.
Guys, thank you. Oh, how cute.